hit record and start recording this. And I should ask, so Christine, I've been working with Louis and then Melissa mostly on the development of all of this. I don't know how much in the loop you've been. Do you guys have any questions, any context of you want to discuss before we kind of dive in on this?
I've been pretty peripherally involved, only because I work directly with Louis, or at least did until the reorg. So, and I was office mates with Chelsea before that. So I've kind of known what's going on with Conservation Connect, but not as much with the kind of move over to TYO and if there's been any changes. I was familiar with the when we had the website and how to get to it and the marketing that they were doing, but not since the transition.
Okay, so basically we built out the site, kind of to iterating back and forth with Louis and Melissa. We got to a place where I think everybody seemed pretty happy with it, and then all the reorg happened, and kind of the last thing that there was to do was kind of to have this conversation that we're having right now with Louis. And so then kind of you guys got reorged and didn't know what was going to happen with this or anything else, um, and here we are.
So I
Okay.
didn't miss much, it sounds like.
Yeah, no. So I don't think you've missed much. And just actually for my benefit, where are you guys with this, like with the ongoing sort of development of this project? Beyond are you guys still committed to it? And not, I'm not talking about the website. I'm talking about Conservation Connect as a whole.
Yeah, so it sounds like the decision's been made that we are going to continue Conservation Connect, but it does have to kind of adapt and adjust to a broader audience. So it won't be as targeted for, school students. It'll kind of refocus and be a tool, an outreach tool that we can use for not just students, but also current Fish and Wildlife employees and the public. So it'll be a little more general in terms of who the actual audience should be. And it might take a little more of a heritage history focus, or at least in the short term.
Right, right. Yeah, I kind of assumed that might be the case. Well, and then another conversation to have after this will be sort of the marketing of this, and there's certain things that can be done with SEO, and that may feed into your plans of how you want to get this out, and whatever we can do to help with that, we'd be happy to as well.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Sure, sure. Okay, so Rob, you wanna just kind of dive in then?
Sure. Everyone's looking at the site together here? We all have right? The
Yep.
screen up. Okay,
Yeah.
beautiful. Well,
Your ma-
it's all designed and built within WordPress, which is just the content management system, this back end where all the pages and images and all everything that you see on this front end is accessible via this back end. Probably the main areas that you'd be most concerned with, or the main area, would be in pages, which essentially are all of the different sections of the site. So you can see they're pretty, relatively clearly labeled here what they are. And each one of these is an editable piece of data. So for example, this is your home page. And if you go here and it says home front page, you can click at it. And it'll allow you to go in and you can swap out graphics, you can update text, You can add video links, and everything is contained within this builder. And it's essentially a vertical, visual presentation of what you see on here. So in other words, videos and main content, you'll see welcome to Conservation Connect. Here's the little the logo for it, Connect Live, the computer image, these separators. Here's additional text, and each one of these sections you can go in and edit via this little, it's like a little pen there. So for example, if you wanted to quickly change out some of this text in there, you could go in and it works essentially like a just a word editor. You can just type whatever you want, swap that out. When you're happy with it, you hit save, and your changes would be in there. So that is the basis of how you would go in and edit any of these individual elements that you see within there. When you're happy with your changes within here, you can preview the changes prior to making them live. And if everything looks good within here, given whatever changes you made, you can go back and update it, and that will go live to this actual live page here. So that is the basis of how you would go in and edit the individual pieces and components to the website. You guys have any questions on that so far? So
you, for the kind of logos and images and stuff, is it basically just like a, layer, like, you tell it which one's in the back, which one's in the middle, which one's in the front, that kind of thing, so that you know what order they're arranged in?
It's not on that axis. It's a vertical axis. You don't actually layer content. Okay. There is, for example, see this slight yellow background. Actually, let me rewind for a second. There is the ability to edit that. So you have things like this, like background color.
Okay.
So if I go back here, as I said before, each of these individual items comes up with a small pen icon, including these columns. So if you look here, this is the 1/3 column, which contains all this content. This is the 2/3 column, representing all of this content on here, which is now not showing up on that one, which is fine, because there it is. So for example, if you did want to change the background color, you would select the column itself, and under design, you could go in and swap out that color to whatever you deem, nice or applicable. Same thing with the images. So for example, if you want to swap out this logo to something else, you see it here, you would remove it, and it would give you the option to upload a new image and navigate to wherever on your computer or your Dropbox drives or whatever your external drives. You upload that image, and you would save and pop it in there, and then it would appear in this little box.
Okay.
So that's the basis and the foundation for editing currently what you see. If you want to add something, well, this is the clone. Sorry, you go down to the bottom, and you can just add an element. And what that will present you with is pretty straightforward collection of different pieces. For the most part, I would imagine you would be dealing with button items, an image item, which is just a single image, and you can go down here to a text block, and that would allow you to add a new block of text. So if you were to do that, you're presented once again with this word editor, which you can go into and type in, and you can change the size of the type based on these headings. You can bold, italic, all that good stuff. Sort of a standard issue text editor. You can change the color in here. Pretty basic stuff in regards to that. And if you wanted to get into the code, it would be in this area here. For the most part, I would imagine you would stay within the visual editor just because it's a little easier to see what's going on. So that
Rob,
is
I think the 99% of what they're going to be doing as far as updates is just, okay, there's going to be a swapping out the new broadcast section with, okay, here's the next one coming up. And then probably, so I think that's the main one. And then either adding an episode or a toolbox, as they create new ones. I think that's really going to be the only functional updates that are more than likely going to be happening.
okay. Cool.
And again, Chris,
in that case, well,
the idea here is, we can kind of show you how it's done right now, and if you're kind of like, okay, this is too much for whoever this is going to be responsible for, all you would have to do is just email me each month and say, okay, we've got a new one, a new episode, we want to get a new broadcast that we want to get up there. It's going to be on March 2nd. It's about owls, and here's the copy, here's the things, and I can just have somebody from my team do it. But it's also, if it's just easier to take in house, that's whatever you guys want to do. It's fine with us.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I think.
Well, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I was just gonna say, yeah, it sounds like we would mostly be adding kind of the new updated episode, and we probably will have to do a little bit of editing on the kind of main page, just in terms of like audience and like detail kind of things. So it was good to also see how the main page is set up too.
Yeah, and again, if there's bigger edits, like, okay, we're gonna kind of tweak this a little bit based on this new direction, then we can certainly help with that. If it's a bigger, like, okay, we want to change this or a couple images, or again, this whole thing, as you see, it was designed to like really be easily changed and added to, so very intentionally. So it's all up to you.
Okay.
Okay, Rob, so do you want to just like kind of really quickly walk through, like, okay, we're going to change the next broadcast,
Yeah.
update it
Super simple. Yeah. So if you see where we are here, so now that you have the overview of what these little pieces do, you would go in and literally just type in the new info there in next broadcast. You would save that, and that would be in this area. The click here to join us is just a standard link that will take you to your live stream. So I believe this is all of your live content. So you don't have to touch that. Within here, this, I guess, would stay the same. Then the next section would be, once again, just you go in and, no, not that one. Sorry, this one. You would go in here and you can add in the newest content or change this out however you choose. Once again, it's just text. So that part is pretty easy to update. The other piece here is I can send you this thing. What I did is I created it's actually a Photoshop piece where this is cut out, and you can just, if you work with Photoshop, you can drop in a background for whatever the applicable image is, or I can give you just a standard one, which just maybe says Conservation Connect for now, and you never have to touch that. That's totally your call. Perhaps I made that a little more, I added a couple steps there, but I thought it'd be, nice to have a visual representation of whatever your next broadcast is within there.
Yeah, Louis really liked
so
that
that's
part.
Yeah, so that's it that's all you'd be touching on the front page, is really that little piece and possibly this. And I guess eventually, if you wanted to switch out, let me see, I haven't looked at this in a little bit. This is just a PDF that we link to that has all of this, and this was supplied to us, so that would be on your end to create a new PDF with the new broadcast schedule if you were to update that. And if you wanted to, and if you were going to do that, you would select that button and you would have to insert the new link to the new PDF there. And that would be that piece. Does that all make sense so far?
Yep, I'm following.
Cool.
Okay, cool. That's pretty much the front page. It's pretty easy. It's essentially just these couple little areas there. And of course, if you want to update that, that's also pretty simple.
Rob, you want to show them analytics on this site and then the Google Analytics as well?
Well, here's you can see we have a little dashboard installed in here, which just gives you a rough overview of what's been going on. So this is in the last 30 days. You've had 30 sessions, 20 individual users. There's your page views. A little bit of organic search, not a lot, so that could definitely come up. It doesn't appear that people are spending too much time on it, so perhaps they're not being pulled into the videos, or they're just bouncing off of your page and going directly to the external videos. So you wanted to go into Google also?
I don't know if is it the same data, or can you get
access? A more in-depth look. I like this little dashboard element here because it gives you an overview of what's going on with the website pretty quickly. Whether or not you're achieving numbers that you want to see or not. So there haven't been any visits in the last several days.
What's the bounce rate?
The bounce rate, I'm not that familiar with bounce rate. I'm not an analytics specialist. I'm more of a designer, but it has to do, you could look it up real quick on Google. Essentially, I think it's kind of what it sounds like. It's people.
I just Googled it. Bounce rate is one of the most misunderstood metrics in Google Analytics. Bounce rate is the percentage of single page visits or web sessions. It is the number of visits in which a person leaves your website from the landing page without browsing any further.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 83% of people went into the home page and didn't click on another
okay.
another one, which also is they didn't click on the episodes or toolboxes or that. I should say there was an open item in here as well. At some point in the beginning, Louis wanted to have a tab for Meet the Team, where he and a bunch of the folks involved would be kind of like, this is who's running this, but he decided he couldn't get all the stuff together and the people, and then I guess especially now that the whole team's been reorged. But if that's something you want to put up in the future, we can do that as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I remember him asking me about that and talking about maybe doing bios, which it will probably depend on, kind of who ends up being the face of, the video people will definitely stay the same because they are our video team, but kind of the hosts and stuff might be a little up in the air until we get a new approach nailed down.
Got it. And then do you want to, we'll email this to you after the call, but do you want to just show them how to access this backend with, they're going to need a password and a login and all of that? How does that work, Rob?
Yeah, it'll essentially be, I'll send you all this info, but it's Conservation Connect / WP admin. It's just gonna, so here, if I log out, you'll enter your password, you'll enter your email address, and you'll log in, and it'll take you directly to your dashboard here, which is what we've been looking at, which gives you access to all the pages which you'll most likely be spending your time editing.
Great. So I'll send you that. I'll send you the recording of this. And then again, maybe you guys can just have an internal, it's fairly simple. But again, depending on what you guys want to do and how you want to do it, you can just have a conversation internally, and with Nate around, okay, yeah, Christine, you want to dive in and just take ownership of this, and it seems simple enough, and you've got a little bit of background in this stuff, or this would just be easier if every month when we have a new one, we take 2 minutes, type in like, okay, it's the barred owl. Here's the copy. Here's the date. Here's an image. Can you update this, and we can do it. And it'd probably take. I don't think it'd take more than like 20, 30 minutes every month. It's pretty simple. So any whatever is going to be best for you guys, we're on board with.
Okay. I do have one question about the pages and the, kind of editing on the back end. I noticed that there was an option for publishing or not publishing. Is it possible to like have a page that's, whatever it is, ready to go, but then turn the actual like just view on and off on the front end?
Yes, it's called a draft. So essentially, you can make any page a draft, and it's real easy to change the status in here. You can also do pending review. I like to just keep things as a draft. That means no matter what, if someone's not logged in, they can't see it.
Okay.
So it's just for you on the back end. So if you're working on it, you just keep it as a draft, and then you can come back to it and add it in later at any point, or you can, or trash it or whatever you want to do with that, or view it.
Right. Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't like the day you wanted it posted, someone had to go in that day to make the whole thing. Like you could be working on it and just have it published whenever you want it up.
Yeah, and you can set times for publishing too, because originally this was a blogging software. Yeah, so you can set things to go live at a certain point if you wanted to.
Oh, well, that's great.
Which is kind of cool. Yeah. And it's over here. So you can change the publishing date to whatever you want, and even down to the hour. So you can release that content when you feel comfortable releasing it, basically.
So I guess theoretically you could take like a day and schedule out all of the episodes for the year. It'd be like, okay, this is the day that I do this, and it's owls, and then get all those updates ready, and then have them published exactly when you want them published.
Right, that's what I was thinking, because as opposed to having to take whatever, like one specific day a month or something, we could like basically set up a bunch and have a meeting on one day to get them ready, and then just have them post when they need to post.
You can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, one other main thing here is like the media, your library. This is all this stores all your images and PDFs and everything in here, and it's very easy to add content to here. So you can bulk upload a bunch of photos if you needed to. You can delete things from here. You can get the URL for the actual item. So let's say, for example, you wanted to know like where's this PDF? There it is. That's the actual URL to that. So you can send that to somebody if you want them to just be able to link directly to that item. So that's one other area you'll probably be spending a little bit of time with is the media.
And when you want to sit in those boring meetings and just draw bog turtles, you can
yeah, that's it. Learn about manatees. Okay. I think unless you guys have any other like really specific, I mean, obviously you can keep drilling down. I mean, that's a fairly superficial overview of how WordPress operates,
Right.
but it's way deeper. But I figure for now that'll should hopefully give you enough data to be able to process what needs to be done, and how to make it happen.
And
Right.
Rob, do you have I think again, it's just a couple of those superficial, the next episodes and things like that should be fairly simple. If somebody on their team wanted to like do a little bit of a deeper dive and really, take some ownership, is there like a WordPress tutorial that like is on YouTube
Oh,
or something
yeah,
you would recommend?
tons of stuff on. Well, not for basic stuff. I usually look in, when I'm trying to figure out some coding issues or something. So it might not be stuff that's applicable in this case, but yeah, WordPress, it's something like 30% of the web is like running on this platform. So there is a lot of content out there on how-tos and why-tos and all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, so you may
But
that like again if again somebody is gonna like take full ownership of this and wants to really understand it, it's a really simple platform. It's pretty ubiquitous. You could probably YouTube or Google WordPress for Dummies or something like that, and you have all sorts of good information that pops up as well. But again, Christine, like we're happy. However you guys want to work it, you can send us a monthly update. We can work on getting all those updates set for the year and publishing them. However you want to do it, it's up to you. But we just kind of wanted to give you a quick kind of dry run of how all this back end works.
Yeah, well, I think that was really helpful because I haven't specifically worked on WordPress before, but it definitely seems pretty like straightforward and manageable. It's not super clunky. There's no code involved in any of this. So
Yeah. Cool.
Hi, this is Rhonda.
Hi.
Sorry, the internet went down here and the phone lines went down, so I'm using my cell phone and I got on the Wi-Fi. So I guess I missed everything.
Well, I recorded it, so you can I'll send it to you guys to watch the recording, and then you can circle around with Christine, and then if there's any other specific questions, we can certainly answer them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I do have website experience because I use Dreamweaver all the time and update the websites here and then CTC. So I was looking forward to getting into it so that I can look around and see what it is that I can and can't do.
Yeah.
So were you sending us passwords to get in so that we can update that?
Yep.
Yes, I'll create a new user and password specifically for you, and give you full admin so you can change everything, within the backend.
Yeah. Right. Because I did have a chance to go in and look at the website, and I noticed that there's several of the conservation series that have not been added there, or I didn't see where they were. So I know that we're going to have to add some more of those. So.
Okay. Yeah. So that's basically, where is all the new content moving forward. And what we talked about is either, it can be done, on a month by month basis, or we can, do it all at once and just, there's a functionality in here to schedule when it will be published. So,
right.
We can do that anyway.
Well, usually we try to keep it updated. The webpage that we have now, I usually try to update it as I have the information. So it'd be best for us just to go ahead and update it as we have it instead of doing it on a month-to-month basis. So
Sure.
That's what I'm hoping that we will be able to do.
Sure. Okay. So we can do that, or it may be, Rob, do you want us, Rhonda, would you like us to just take another 5 minutes really quickly and just kind of walk you through that back end? I know you can, so you can ask some live questions.
Well, if you've already recorded that, I mean, I can look at the recording and then I can get back to you guys if I have any questions. But if you want to take another 5 minutes, please feel free.
Well, you just, I think that the main thing that you're going to be doing is there's on the homepage updating the next episode section and then adding new ones. So you just want to really quickly show her that, Rob?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So what we're talking about is this right-hand column. And the way to access that is you log into the dashboard. We go down to pages.
Okay.
It contains all the individual pages that you see on the front end. And you would navigate to the home page, which is your front page, and click at it. Pretty straightforward so far. And that will bring up this back end visual editor. And the way to access any element on here or to edit any element is via the small pen icon. So you can go in and click on that. For example, if you want to switch out the next broadcast, you would just select that and voila, you have your text, which you can just edit within here. Make your changes. If you're happy with it, you just save it and make sure that's good. This contains the additional live elements that are coming up. So it's the same thing there. It's a basic word editor. So all of these icons, I'm sure you're pretty familiar with. You know, everybody's seen these by now. And that's what you would be editing for the most part on the home page. The only other element that I was explaining to them earlier is this icon here with the computer. I can give you the Photoshop file which has the desktop basically cut out, so you can just drop in an image there of whatever the next episode's featured animal is or event is, and you would, you know, I've been creating a JPEG. You can see it has this yellow background, but you can make it a PNG or whatever. But I think that this is the easiest way because that matches what I have going on that column. So you would swap that out, and if you want, one good method is to preview your changes and make sure everything looks good. And once everything looks good, you would select update, and that would make it live on the front end. Does that make sense so far?
Rhonda, did we lose you again? Okay, I think
she typed into the chat and said that she saw most of it, but that she lost cell service. So apparently it's not going to work for her today. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, now you have a double dose of that.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll shoot you an email later today with the logins, the passwords, this recording that Rhonda can watch again. And then we'll go from there.
Okay, yeah, and I mean, I'm sure we have to have another meeting anyway to talk about which approach we want to take. So yeah. I can just go through it with Rhonda before or after the meeting, all the stuff that we went through, if there were any questions or anything.
Yeah, and again, the idea was so you understood what all was involved, so you could decide, you know, do we want to do this in-house or do we want to just, you know, have the TYO team continue to update?
Right, so exactly.
Okay. Way all goods, but now you know, and you just keep us posted.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure we'll end up having a meeting probably next week or something.
Great. Okay, thanks for taking the time, and say bye to Rhonda for us.
Okay, I will. Right. Thank you, Chris. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you. You're welcome, Christine. Yeah, any questions? We're always here to help out. Okay.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thanks, Rob.